President, Merchandising, ScanSource Communications.
There you go.
And Paul Hoffman, Senior Director, Cloud and Technology Solutions, Ingram Micro. Representing the master agencies are Vince Bradley, CEO, WTG. Chris O'Brien, Director, VAR Programs, Microcorp. Andrew Kreifogel, Senior Vice President and General Manager, Cloud Services and Complex Bids, Intelisys Inc.
And TBI.
Yeah, is
see
Jen,
it?
is Jen anywhere in the house? All right, well, thank you very much for being here. We're going to start off with just sort of the top line question. Are you guys, IT distributors on the end and master agents on this end, are you guys collaborators or are you competitors or neither? So, Andrew, you want to try that one?
Well, I think we're a little bit of both, perhaps, but we've been chatting. I mean, I think there's a lot of help that we can provide each other, and so I would say we're much more from a collaborator perspective. I know, Ingram has got a pretty robust cloud strategy now that they've been working hard on. There's a little bit of crossover as we see between that, so there might be a little bit of competition there. But I think you made a point, Callie, that a lot of the telco agents that we've got long-standing relationships with have a base of knowledge that the traditional IT VAR doesn't have. And if we can collaborate to figure out how we bridge those two communities together, I think we can really throw gas on this thing. So I would say we're much more of a collaborative type of relationship.
So, Chris, this is an interesting question for you because you recently made an agreement with Tech Data that would be actually an example of collaboration. You want to talk a little bit more about it from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely collaborators, and I see a lot more of that going on between all the distributors and most of the master agents coming up. It's going to be a necessity. Microcorp has just entered into a partnership with Tech Data in order to try to reach out to the Tech Data VARs. I just recently came from the VAR market over to Microcorp in order to help facilitate that and work with Tech Data because we saw such a need for it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris. So, the great Ken Mercer has arrived. So. All right. So, I'd like each of you to answer this question. So, Vince, what is your perspective?
Sure, I completely agree. I think it's something we've been involved in for about 5 years now in the space of teaming IT VARs with our agent partners. We've had great success with it because we have a 4-tier program that allows them to be flexible as they enter the space. I would agree with everything that was said, that ultimately we're starting to see this, with the cloud, with security becoming more important today. We're certainly seeing an adoption that's unprecedented in the past, couple of years. Really, it kicked in 12. So I would say I've seen a lot of traction there.
Okay, so Ken, we're going to let you catch up on this question. We're talking about whether or not distributors and master agents are competitive or collaborative. And, do you have any thoughts on it before we move to the IT guys?
Collaborative. I think VARs are trying to offer solutions to their customers. It's been tangible equipment for years and years. When somebody can come in and offer the equipment and the network services, you're going to keep competitors out. I think the difference between the carriers trying to offer hardware and the VARs trying to offer networks have definitely converged. So I think that that's a very complementary situation.
All right, so the distributors, you've heard what these master agents think. So, Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, a couple comments. One, it's interesting, you talked about how the master agents aren't well known in the VAR community. Interesting, I came for the first time to this show last year, and when I went around and introduced myself, hi, I'm Paul from Ingram Micro, most people's response was, who?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes both ways in terms of that expression of knowledge, but definitely it's, one of the things you learn in distribution is that everybody's your friend and your enemy at the same time. You got suppliers, you got buyers, you got sellers, and so you have to learn to work amongst those different communities and work well together. And I think there's definitely an environment for all of us to be cooperative within that. I mean, I've seen, talking to some of our VAR customers, not a lot of, but I've seen a number of them start to become agents. So that's a unique choice that's been going into the puzzle. They recognize that they want to get in that space. we're offering now a host of UC solutions, so it's something that kind of crosses over into what's going on here. But, you know, and as Andrew mentioned, we've had some conversations about how we all play together. It's a morphing environment. Cloud's kind of bridging that gap amongst everything, and definitely there's going to be an opportunity for us to do this again.
So if they don't know you, then I'm. But, you know, we, as of now, I mean, we provide infrastructure, logistics and that for the VARs and training and those pieces to get them educated on the hardware side. And I see that the masters do a great job of pulling together the training on the services side of it that typically we haven't played. I mean, it's crossing over there, and it just really depends on, from a market, how we go to market from a distributor standpoint, and what things we'd like to take on versus partner. We collaborate all the time to try to bring to our VARs and resellers solutions that make sense to help them grow their business or get into new areas that they haven't been. But as you said, some of them, I mean, that survey is very interesting because it's, you know, I would say there's over 50% probably of our partners that don't want to get into and more than that probably, they get into the carrier services and stuff like that, but they are realizing, or we're hoping they're realizing that they need to look at it because from the flip side, the ones that are doing carrier services or the data bars are going to be coming after their customers, and so they need to figure out how do I get in the game, and our job as a value-add distributor is to help them get in the game.
So are you gonna then offer carrier services, or are you gonna send them to one of these guys?
So that's up for discussion right now. I mean, but we're having discussions around what makes sense, and in some ways it could be system challenges or model challenges, because the other thing that the VAR, and sometimes the reason why they aren't in that business is they're used to get my PO, get my money from my end user, I get this big fat check. Where in your business, it's instead of getting $1,000 up front, I'm getting $100 for 12 months or ongoing forever. And so I have to look at, you know, how do I change my model to adapt to that? And there's that dip of changing over.
All right, so Brian, I'm glad you said that, because yesterday we were having a conversation with a hosted VoIP company here, and I thought it was very interesting the way that they characterize this, is that the average agent has 1,000 customers that they talk to 10 minutes a year, where the average VAR has 10 customers they talk to 1,000 minutes a year. You have these vastly different models, these vastly different customer relationships. We can see that the services and the technologies and the solution delivery complement each other, but they do not, these two models do not mesh well. From the master agent as well as the distribution side, how is it, do you see yourselves as enablers, the ones that are going to help the partners reach the cloud? How do you bridge these gaps and make something that's more uniform so that it can be scaled? Okay?
If I was to really boil it down simply, I think we're looking at two different industries that have completely different compensation packages, right? We're looking at residual versus upfront, SKU-based versus intangible. For the telecom side of it, we've benefited from the carriers offering CPE and the customer experience being easier at the edge with the routers. We've benefited from telecommunications companies buying cloud providers and being able to roll that into our residual models. We've been recruiting VARs for years and years, and we've had challenges educating them on how to build a telecom practice because they're not motivated to get $14 a month. They're motivated to bill it themselves and get margin, which is wholesale. We're not supposed to do that. So I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think that the carriers need to start coming up with an upfront and residual-based model, and the VARs need to start thinking about resources towards having a telecom practice that doesn't distract their salespeople from their core competency. The master agents need to build support structures that are going to do a lot more heavy lifting and hand-holding for the VAR support structures. That's my opinion. And it all basically comes down to pay.
So I want to interrupt here because I want to ask this question, because Andrew knows why I'm going to ask this question. I want to ask the audience this. How many of you, because most of you are agents in the room, correct? How many of you, how do you feel about, all right, how many are agents? Yeah. Okay. How do the agents feel about having VARs working with your master agents?
Your question is flawed. Ask how many people in the room are agents and
Five bars? Okay, please. How many have converged?
How many are doing both, agents and VARs?
Okay, so my question isn't so far.
Only.
Well.
So look,
Wait, how many of you are just VARs? Okay, so there's a couple just VARs and there's a couple converge.
So look, this is the reason why I asked the question. And Andrew, you remember, you've worked with my cloud council before, in the past. When we put you in the room with VARs, what was it like? What was the conversation like when we were sitting across the table talking about this working relationship?
Yeah, a bit disconnected perhaps at times. A little dysfunctional perhaps at times. We come from different worlds.
Argumentative?
A little bit. Some spirited conversations. You know, I think the comp question's a big one, right? And we have to come up with solutions to that problem. But comp isn't driving this conversation. What's driving this is cloud is changing the way VARs have to operate, okay? And their businesses are changing around them, whether they want it or not. What's changing for them is, you know, we've been after this VAR community for a long time, all of us have, right? We've been gosh, when you think about the opportunity, it's massive. Our community, our agent community, we're about 5,000 strong. I don't know if you know, it's about roughly 5,000 or so nationwide, okay? We've all built big businesses around that, successful businesses around that, very cool. We all have a great time in Vegas every year, a little week of debauchery, but guys, it's 5,000 people, right? We have 180 to 200,000 bars in the country today, right? It's not even comparative. And so we've been thinking how together we take advantage of this, and now the time is different. Because now VARs are having to come after this from a defensive posture, if you will, because their business models are changing around them. We have agents that are selling big, complex cloud deals and taking those deals away from long-standing VAR relationships, right? And those agents are winning that business. And so VARs are having to figure out, holy crap, what do I do? How do I adjust to that? And so they're having to figure out this model. It's forcing their hand to address this whole comp structure. Yeah, I see, gosh, that up front is that I'm so used to, that's the crack, right? But the ongoing residual, it's just a little bit, and I don't know. But so they've got to make that shift, but they're being forced to. They're being forced to.